This is the Amp Hour Podcast. Released March 4th, 2024. Episode 660. My toothbrush is broadcasting.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
What's up, nerd?
Dave, I have found the promise of the smart home, and it involves me sitting in my driveway waiting for my phone to connect to Wi-Fi so that I can press the button on Home Assistant so it can trigger the little finger button that I installed over top of my garage door opener. And about 3 minutes later, smart home achieved.
Tried to tell you, but
I know.
Yep. You just
there are other ways around this.
Before
anyone writes in, I know there's other ways around this, and I know there's. It really struck me because I don't have a garage door opener in my car right now,
right?
And so I didn't have an opportunity. The real thing is I could have gotten out of the car and gotten back in the car and hit the little keypad, probably 20 times faster. But
where's the keypad?
Yeah. Oh, we have a keypad on the outside of the garage. You don't have one of those?
Oh, really? What? You enter in an actual
a code,
digit number? Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay. Right.
Yep.
That's interesting. Right.
The code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What is it? That's just the factory default.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
To change it.
That's the code of my luggage. No, Spaceballs? No. Come on, Spaceballs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who has a pin pad for a garage door thing. That's just
it came at the house, so I don't know. It was it's very convenient. Very, very convenient. I also have one though, that's also how I have my front door. I don't know if I should be, I guess it's there regardless.
You've got a strike plate front door.
Is that what it's called? Strike plate? Yeah, it's it's got a keypad.
You have to. That's what you install to undo the lock. Is a strike plate? Is the name of the lock thing that you need to install? So you need to install a strike plate. Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Is the name? So
I don't know if that's.
Override it.
This is this is a battery operated deadbolt. Is that what you mean? This is I have a code on my front door. My front door has a deadbolt that's instead of Bluetooth, it's just numbers. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but you can override it with a key.
The key,
right?
Yeah. That's right. Yep. Yeah. Yes. I prefer that. It's been great. Yeah.
It's not just the strike plate because I believe the strike plate is just the metal thing that goes around the outside of the cutout. Yeah, it's the little catch thing. Yeah. So it's an electronic strike plate. So,
man, I never heard it referred to that. Yeah.
Something like that. But I think it's just the generic term. Yeah. So anyway, we've got that for the garbage room now.
Okay.
For the not at home, of course, the infamous garbage room here at the EEV blog corporate towers.
Keep out the electronic raccoons that go in.
Well, because they had so many
trash
people
pandas
dumping
of the
stuff.
electronics world.
Yeah, because all the stuff that I find in there is not supposed to be dumped in there. Right, under our strata terms, there's big signs everywhere. Do not dump this stuff here.
Yeah,
and
gotta read
and
the
they
signs,
got so
folks.
they got so sick of it that which should be me, they did not consult me, and I'm on the strata committee and the building committee. Right,
man,
and you
gotta file some stuff, man. It was
the building
cause
next
a ruckus.
door who also shares the same garbage room. They went out of their way and just installed this new key fob swipe system there, and they changed the lock, and then all the garbage started piling up outside. So I made them change the lock back, the physical key lock back, and they did that. And now our building's just upgraded our security system to a new key fob thing, and so which now integrates with the one that the building next door installed. And we were basically forced to do that. It's geez, it'd be a shame if your security system stopped working.
Yeah.
And so we're forced to do that. And now they've changed the lock back. So now I can't even use the key. I have to use the stupid key fob to open the garbage store. Not happy. So
those things are incredibly easy to spoof too. I mean, like obviously not spoof, replicate, and I don't know, key fobs are just, to me, they're like the appearance of security.
They're not that easy. They're usually a roll-in security key thing. They're usually like a rolling code thing.
No, I didn't mean I meant you have to, you're right. You have to have the physical key, but then to duplicate it with someone else, like you could just take it, like I saw at Home Depot or like our home improvement store here.
Yeah.
They have like key copying, and then they also have like the key fob, like tap
key
it and we'll
fob
just
copying,
replicate
really?
it. Okay. Yeah, I'd never seen that before. I was like,
no, because our ones have to be registered in the system. So I don't think that's possible with ours. I think that's the poorer quality ones.
Wait a second. Can do so that you're saying that you walk up with a key fob, and it's not just presenting like it's doing a challenge? It's doing a challenge.
Yeah, no. Each one is individually serial numbered and it's programmed into the system. That's what they installed it for, is so that they can track who opened the door and dumped all that crap in there. Sure.
But those are programmable. That's what I'm saying. Like you can program a key fob to be the same serial number as another
to be
key
the
fob.
Same serial number, possibly. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I used to have, one of those copiers that you could have at home. I had one.
Yeah, but once again, I think it depends on not all of them are the same.
Different types.
There are different.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So
that's right.
I don't think there's some universal programmer that sort of like handles every single key fob different design on the planet. Maybe there is. I don't know, but I'm doubting it. Yeah. So anyway,
I think you should. Well, if only there was an electronics YouTuber that could investigate these sort of things.
Right.
Oh boy. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I remember it had
encrypted.
a 3.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, they're all encrypted though. Like you can't just like I've got one of those flipper things. Like you can't. Yeah, I can get the data from it or whatever. But if it's encrypted and it rolls over every time, it's like like it isn't going to tell me much. I don't think so. Any good system should not be copyable and should have a restricted license. Keys are like that. For example, like the key I've got.
Like physical key?
The actual physical key for my dungeon and my bunker, I've actually keyed them alike. And I've done a video on this. And
you do a rolling code where you throw out the key each time you use it and then you throw it away?
Well, it's only got 10 million combinations or something. It self-destructs every time you use a key. Right. Yeah, right.
It gets to the end of the tumblers and then it has a little bit of C4 at the end.
And then it burns a fuse. Yeah,
pops it up. Yep.
So I've done a video on that, and it's got 10 million combinations, and it's the world's most secure key. So there's only a few people on the planet who can actually pick it, and then they've got to use customized tools to do it. But anyway, you can't go to your local locksmith and get a new version of this key. It is so restricted that you have to be an authorized distributor for that particular brand of Abloy key, that series of Abloy key. And
was it like Asa Abloy?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
That's the company. And it's the Protect 2 for those playing along at home. It's the world's most secure key, the Abloy Protect 2. And they have to. So I have to go back to the same company that I originally got it cut from, and they have a database of, which code has been allocated to you, and so you can't just well, you probably could. I mean, if there's some grey market dude with an Abloy Protect machine, I guess, and you had a physical copy of the key, you could go and get it duplicated. But it's like, you would lose your license. You would lose your security key license if you actually made a copy of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think did I mention on the show I locked myself out? Like,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like seeing like the way the guy actually got into the house, and it was not involving any kind of key.
Actually, no. What? You had to get a locksmith to get you in?
I had a locksmith, yeah. So what happened was...
you haven't told me this. Tell us.
Yeah, so like I have a... like I said, I have electronic locks.
Yeah.
But I have deadbolts for when I'm inside, right? So like when I'm in there, or sorry, not deadbolts, but like sliders, whatever.
Yeah.
So that like when I'm home, even if you have the code, you can't get in unless I'm home, unless I unlock it.
Unless you unlock it from the inside,
Yeah, and so like I had left the house and I'd gone through the garage, as I often do, locked the garage, went out through the garage door, but then the power was out, and the garage door opener was like just jammed up, like something happened with it, like it lost power, and so I just couldn't get in, and so I called a locksmith. I'm like, everything's locked, and it turned out that like everything he tried, there was no keys involved. Like, it was just like, using like a expansion pad. I thought maybe I mentioned on here, it was like an expansion pad. He has like a little pump up thing to like help like jam open different things. Like the methods were very surprising to me.
Right. So they were physical methods, were they?
They were more physical methods. Yeah. It was like, yeah, like he had gotten like the creepy one was like, there's like a hook you can have for like a catch in a garage door opener. I don't know if this is how they work in Australia, but like in the US, there's like a release so that if the garage door opener is broken, you pull on this little cord.
Yes, and and then it free slides or whatever.
So this guy basically like snaked a long wire, like a I don't know, piece of like a flexible piece of metal through the top of the garage, and he pulled the whole red thing out from the garage.
Oh wow!
And then he was like pulling on it, and mine was
that must
broken.
have had a camera on the end of it, because there's no way he could do that blind.
He did it blind. Oh no, there's windows in the garage door, so you could see it.
Oh, okay, so you could physically see it. Okay, yeah.
Right. But still, like that's nuts. Like, just like all of the other things that just like the other things that get people into houses. It's just it was very surprising to me. It was eye opening.
Right.
So yeah.
Keys, dude. I'm telling you, just
keys were the answer. Yes, that's right. The thing I was thinking of was the Proxmark 3. I used to have one of those. So
what's a Proxmark 3?
So that's the RFID reader. I'll link that to you here.
Okay.
It's the RFID. It's like a programmer for fobs.
Yeah, I've got an RFID programmer thing somewhere, but it only works on certain ones, and it doesn't.
Yeah, and that might be what it is. Yeah. I don't have enough to know. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Anyway.
I don't actually remember why I got it either. I think it was like one of those things where I was like reading Hackaday and I'm like, oh, I need one of those.
Right.
Like something like that,
So you've installed a smart home thingamabob.
Thingamabob, that's right.
Internet of Things thingamabob, or is it's just a Wi-Fi thingamabob
it's a Bluetooth thingamabob. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that opens your garage door, which was already an existing system. So it had like an external input.
It's just a button push.
Oh, button push. Okay, so you use like a transistor to.
I just used like it's called a SwitchBot bot, and it's basically just like a little electronic finger that you can just trigger with over Bluetooth. Yep. But then I hooked that into Home Assistant. Home Assistant now is very, validated to trigger this thing. And so the nice thing, the actual thing that I thought about it with this is you could have like automations there. Again, it is a retrofit, like you said. I have a garage door sensor on there, and I could say like, hey, if the garage door's been open for 20 minutes, trigger it, right?
Actually, shut it automatically.
Exactly.
So if you forget,
exactly.
Right.
Yep. I have to say, yes, someone out there is probably like, well, you could like buy a system that does this, and I could, but two things. One, I don't want to. I don't want to replace an existing system that works fine.
Yeah, of course.
What it really is meant to do, which is open, close the garage door. And two, a lot of these systems from like manufacturers are like, well, yeah, you'll hook into our Wi-Fi thing. And I'm like, no, I just don't want it to leave my house. I don't want it to like go to someone else's server, especially no totally. Offense, a garage door company, like doing the IoT thing and
sell your data of when Chris opened and closes his door. Somebody's got to pay for that. Someone's going to pay for that. Yep.
The really freaky thing is the so in Home Assistant, I've been playing with Home Assistant more, and like I was just looking through what available integrations were there, and I was like, one night I was using my toothbrush, and I was like, I wonder. And I logged into the app. I logged onto my Home Assistant thing, and I was like, Oral-B, which is the toothbrush brand I have. And I'm like, yeah, we have an integration for that. And then you just start seeing like, yeah, your toothbrush is active. It has a little timer. Basically, my toothbrush is just broadcasting on Bluetooth. There was no like key exchange.
You have a Bluetooth toothbrush?
I had no choice, Dave. It's just what it came with. It was like a $60 toothbrush. It just has Bluetooth.
Rubbish. You have a choice. You don't have to buy the Bluetooth version.
I didn't buy it. My in-laws bought it for me. Like literally, I didn't know it had Bluetooth until I opened it up. I'm like, oh, look, there's a little Bluetooth signal on it. But the thing is, like, that means everybody has Bluetooth, right? I mean, like, everybody has access to the signal, which means I'm just broadcasting when I'm brushing my teeth, and I don't like that.
Yeah, but granted, it's not going to reach the people next door because Bluetooth is pretty low, energy.
No, it's my whole house. I'm not in a big house, but I'm not in a small house, and like, it's all the way across the house, Dave. Like, Bluetooth can really Like
I have so many problems. Most of my Bluetooth stuff can't even get through a single wall.
You know what I think it is? What? In Australia, the Bluetooth it swirls in the other direction.
Right, goes in the other direction. Yeah. Okay, yeah. All the antennas need to be polarized in the opposite circular direction.
Exactly. That's what it is. Yep. Right. Yeah. I think they charge extra for that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was surprised, and that's. I mean, it's interesting to go through on Home Assistant, just seeing what's available, and you can kind of use that as a proxy for what's out there and what people have written integrations for. But I did not expect a Bluetooth toothbrush, and now it's just on there, and I monitor it.
What the hell do you do with a Bluetooth toothbrush? Do you have your app which gathers the data? I assume it's an app, right? Which then gathers the data and tells you, oh, you've spent an average of 2 minutes brushing your teeth.
They try and gamify it maybe for kids or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But this is sad. I weep for the future.
I mean, it's fine, but I don't want it,
Well, next time you upgrade, make the conscious choice to not buy these
like a dumb smart toothbrush.
A dumb toothbrush.
I do
I've done a teardown.
Toothbrush.
I've done that was 10 years ago or something. I did a teardown of one of those Braun toothbrushes. They're very interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we'll link that in. I'll have to watch that. I have not watched that myself.
Right. Yep.
Braun toothbrush teardown.
EEV blog. Yep. I think it's a Braun. Yeah. Yes.
I've never used Braun. What else is new in the world of teardowns? You've been tearing stuff down lately? Besides Solar Roads, people don't.
I just released that. Yeah, they're going to do hearty salute to the Colas Wattway Solar Road in France, Normandy in France. They're about to tear it down after
bon voyage.
8 years.
Au revoir.
Yeah. It failed. Anyway, moments before we recorded this, I just released the video, so you can go watch that. Yep.
Okay.
I'm still earning the coin from the endless grift that is Solar Roadways. At least I'm earning some perpetual income from it.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, boy. No.
So no teardowns. I have some build-ups if you'd like to talk about those. Actually, I don't even remember if we talked about this. We recorded 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't remember what my last teardown was.
Oh, we talked. Oh, that's right. So
I did a repair. But I haven't done a teardown.
Oh, you did a stereo tube repair, right?
My last teardown was one of those main socket testers. One of those smart main socket testers, which are a gimmick. Once again,
how smart is it?
It's so smart, it's impractical,
Yeah.
So, it's just like the Braun freaking Bluetooth brush. It's just stupid. Like these smart socket testers, no, just get like a Fluke or some other brand voltage stick or some other voltage, one of those dumb voltage testers. Sorry, it does actually have a near field contact thing built into it. It's like, no, I don't want to combine my tools. Why? Like a socket tester just tests the wiring of your socket, right? So if you're wiring up sockets every day, then plug it in, make sure your active and earth aren't swapped or something,
That's great.
And just a dumb one with 3 LEDs in it. That's it. You don't actually need anything more than that. Fluke sell one. It's a dumb thing. It's got 3 LEDs in it, and if they're in a certain sequence, it's wired upright. If they're not in a certain sequence, it's wired wrong. I mean, it's not rocket science. Jesus. But no, they had to put a multimeter chipset in it, and they had to measure the voltage, and then you can measure the current through the earth terminal, and then it's got near-field voltage detection as well. It's like, no. God, even if it's cheap, even if it's like, I think it's $8 or something. It's like, no, just give me the dumb one, please. Even if it costs more. Just because it's simpler and more better. It's just dumb. I don't get it.
I mean, marketing's a thing, Dave. I don't know if you know this.
I know.
But
more features. Yeah, but...
comparison shopping.
Anyway.
But what you need to do is you need to stand at your local hardware store and just shout at people. I think that's really what it is. Right, that has to be your... This has to be your life's work.
That will be my retirement. Will be shouting at people in stores to don't buy
people
this.
that at least in the US, like the proverbial old guy at the hardware store. Just like you just see someone like sitting there like listening about the differences between like I don't know, types of nuts and stuff like that. And just, you know, like, oh man, one of the two people in that conversation are living their best life.
Right. Exactly. We have that here. There's a lot of old people that work at the local hardware stores.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I
Bunnings.
think, you know,
it's a thing. It's a retirement thing because they just want to still
you
work.
Just
they
chew
don't
the fat all day and you just hang out.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a great
they don't
gig,
get
probably
paid
free coffee,
much.
you know, like
they don't care, you know. They just
Talk
enjoy
about
talking
projects.
to people, and
It's basically this, except you know they actually do something useful.
Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yep. I was at the hardware store yesterday, and I was looking. I needed to find something because, you know, like when you go on the website, it tells you which aisle it's in. Like you can see if they've got stock of something you need.
Sure.
And they tell you which. And it said, "Sorry, we can't tell you which aisle. You're going to have to talk to a staff member." Right. So I go in there, and you know, I knew they had them in stock. So I go up to the oldest dude who I could find, right? Because he'll know, you know. And sure enough, the oldest dude goes, "Oh yeah, I think that's in the commercial. I'm pretty sure we have it in stock, but I don't precisely know where it is. Talk to this young girl over here; she knows everything." And it was like, so I went to talk to her, and yep, sure enough, she knew where it was, and maybe it was new and just didn't know where stuff was. But I'm sure if I wanted to know the difference between 5/8 inch, hex bolts versus, some other bolt, he'd know the business. But
do you have 5/8? Do you have Imperial bolts there?
I had to use Imperial bolts yesterday.
No way.
Yeah, they came in Imperial. Like I opened up my socket set because I'm building some stairs, right? And
Sure.
so I've got these stringers which go down the side of the stairs. That's what I was getting from the hardware store. And like I've got these bolts that screw into like is like a wooden coach bolt. So it screws into wood, so metal onto wood.
Okay,
so coach bolt thing. And so it needed a socket, so I get out my socket set and I go, right, metric, and I'm going, no, 14 mil, no, 16 mil, no. It must be the 15 mil one, which my set doesn't have, so I bought a separate one ages ago because to fill it in. Must be the 15. No, it's not. Then I go, it's bloody Imperial, isn't it, you bastard? Sure enough, my set has both Imperial and metric, so I had to go through the bloody Imperial. And sure enough, it was some bloody 5/8 bullshit. I don't know. Yep.
See, Dave, you did it all wrong right there. What you should have done.
I should have started with the
You should have gotten out your 3D printer and said, you know what, I will model this myself.
I should have got out my calipers.
Start from the ground up. Yeah, exactly.
I should have just got the calipers and measured it precisely.
Bingo.
And then it would have.
Bingo.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Sorry the scourge has reached your land, but no sympathy for me.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, I've been building stuff. I think I mentioned it 2 shows ago rather, but I got those boards built up. I think I mentioned that I had them, the CH32V003, and now I have built them. I have programmed them. That's probably the most impressive thing. Not with my code, with someone else's code, mostly CN Lore stuff. But I've now gotten two boards talking to each other over NRF24, displaying on the OLED when they've sent and received.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I've gotten the USB library working. So that is, and so kind of stalled out after that, I'm back at work. But I feel pretty confident about like at least using and, using this chip and putting down another design. I feel like they've like crested that hill. And so we'll see.
Very good.
We'll see how that goes going forward.
Fantastic. Good luck.
I can think of one creepy thing to build with this. Mostly I could have a send and a receive, and the receive side could be plugged into someone's computer. And the USB HID profile for keyboards is there. So I could
You're right.
Send a keyboard command to someone else's computer from afar, but I shan't. But that was what came up in my head. I was like, I could glue that code together.
All right. Can you read what they're typing as well?
No, I don't think so.
You can't
like a keylogger.
Like a keylogger.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I'm sure someone does, but no, I don't.
Right, but it might be possible. So you
I guess if you listen on the bus, passwords, maybe you could, right? Yeah. Yeah. I was telling someone about. I mean, I mentioned Sammy last time we talked about this board too because it was balloon project, but like that Sammy Camcar project where he put a NRF NR24 listener, and he reverse engineered the Microsoft protocol. It was
nice.
like, it's still like in my head, like at this point, it's like it would be even smaller, but he basically, with off-the-shelf boards, he had a NR24 where he reverse engineered the Microsoft keyboard protocol. He had a AC to DC converter, and then he had a 3G modem board from Adafruit, and he glued them all together, and he fit them all inside like a USB plug pack.
Yeah, nice.
On someone's wall, and it was just like, oh my god! And then so it's just sitting there logging your keystrokes, and it looks like it's just a charger, and it's just like, oh man,
I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's still and it's like if it was, and that's just Sammy with like glue, and not just Sammy, but that is off the shelf stuff, right? I mean, you couldn't make it even smaller. It's just like, it's just creepy. It's just kind of creepy, like.
No, if people wanted to steal your passwords and whatnot, and they've got physical access to your workspace, then it's not hard if you know what you're doing.
Right. Almost as creepy as listening to my toothbrushing.
Does it have a microphone in it? Does it actually like transmit the audio of your?
It does. It transmits how long you've been brushing. Transmits which status you're in, or what state you're in. So like
does
a stall
it have
state.
Like a little gyroscopic sensor in there so it knows how fast you move it? Because my dentist wagged the finger at me saying you don't spend enough time
in one spot.
On each tooth with the electric toothbrush. You're supposed to
dentist,
spend 5 seconds on each tooth.
You'll never make them happy. You'll never make them happy, Dave.
No, but, well, you make them happy when you fork over all the money.
That's true. Yeah. Right.
Yep. Yeah. So maybe it tracks how long you spend on each tooth. See, that could be a metric.
It could be. That would be a tough one to do, though, I think, right?
No, you just
dead reckoning in someone's mouth. Like, that's dead reckoning, right?
No, if it's moved over, surely it knows if it's moved over a couple of millimeter, 5 millimeters.
You would have to think about it. Like, if you had an accelerometer
because your head's
in there,
bouncing around your head.
Yeah, exactly. If you had an accelerometer, like you'd have to do a common filter and do 2 integrations on that to get to position, right? If you have acceleration.
And
to integrate once, you get to velocity.
I don't think you could do it because nobody's staying still. You can make it work, but the subject would have to be standing completely still.
You'd have to have a light tower, like the valve index was. Have like a light curtain to see if your head's been moving, and then you have a field reference, a camera system, and then you have AI, of course.
Right, of course, yeah.
Did we just start a company? I think we just started a company.
I think we just did a $1 million Kickstarter right there.
There we go. Yeah,
that's it.
That's dreaming small, man. It's the world of AI. There's money to be had, Dave. There's money to be had.
I just tweeted, I think yesterday, I'll try and find the tweet for you, where Germany, somebody posted it in jest, but apparently it's a real list of what, here it is, I'll send it to you right now, a list of what it takes to form a startup company in Germany.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
and apparently some people said, oh yeah, this is a real list, but it didn't go far enough. And it's like... And the list is enormous. Let me go through. So please, German viewers, let us know, if they're German listeners, let us know how to do startups, Germany edition. 1, put aside 25,000 euros for company formation. Find a notary to draft articles in corporation. Open a bank account. Deposit share capital and send a notary. And entry into the commercial registry. Ignore official-looking scam letters. And it's got 20 different steps you have to go through. Make sure you have a compliant legal notice on your website or risk getting a 50,000 euro fine, blah, blah, blah. And there's 20 different steps to setting up a limited liability corporation in Germany.
Wow.
How easy is it in your thing? It'd be state-based, right? Yours would be state-based?
It is state. Well, you get a employer identification number, which is basically like a VAT ID. Effectively like a VAT ID. We don't have
tax
VAT.
ID. Yeah, right.
Tax ID. There you go. Yeah. Thanks.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like that, and that's at the federal level.
Federal level. Yep.
Yeah. Then you have to register on each state, because then you have state taxes for each of your entities, and if you're operating in multiple states, usually you have to be
which is ridiculous, because if you're shipping a kit, you're going to be shipping to every state, right? Which is just dumb. So
yes. But I think the sales tax is usually only applied to the state that you're in, I think.
Right, yep.
So,
and that's all usually
it's
taken care of by like shipping ones like Shopify and stuff like that, isn't it? Isn't all that
some
usually?
of them are, yeah.
Some
and
of
like
them
TaxJar is a big one, but yeah, it's like it's a whole industry because of it, right? I mean, it's very non-trivial, right? It's very non-trivial. But if you're not like selling stuff, then it's a little bit easier. But then there's also other considerations, and
Is there any minimum amount of money? Like it sounds like there's a minimum amount of money you have to put in here in Germany to set it up.
In Germany, I'm not sure. Yeah.
There's nothing like that here.
I had a friend who's in California, and he said that like there is a 4-figure cost to it, like get started in a business. So he was holding off.
It'd certainly be 4 figures here. Like it's probably $1,000 to $2,000 to set up a shelf, like a shelf company as they call it here. So maybe on the cheap side you can do it for $1,000 maybe, but usually you've got to hire like an accountant who then subcontracts it to there's an industry built up around it. There are companies that specialize in doing, creating all the paperwork, and so you just say to your accountant, I want to form XYZ Proprietary Limited, and they just go, right, okay, no worries, we'll have it for you next week. And then comes this big ring binder from a company, I think it's called Clear Docs here or something, but there's a huge company that does it all, and they generate all this paperwork for all how many shares each director has, blah blah blah, and all the rest of the wankery, right? But it's probably $1,000 to $2,000.
Okay.
To set up.
It does depend here too. Like there's different levels of corps in the US. So like
there's really
C
only
corps
one
and S corps.
there's really only
LLCs.
one here. You're either a sole. Well, there's 3. You're either a sole trader, or you're a partnership, which is basically only 2 people, which is sort of like a quasi in between thing. It isn't very popular. Or you're a proprietary limited corporation. There could be like there's others like a non-profit or something like that, but they're like totally
the proprietary they're not really. Proprietary corporation you're talking about, is that you have to have shares in that case?
Yes. Even if you have a single director, that single director has to have 1 share in the company.
Got it.
It's,
there's a delineation there, I think, in the States. Like C corps are much more involved and have like reporting standards, because you often have to like have shares that you could sell for other people. But then S corps are like, I think, up to 100 people.
Right.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an accountant.
I think it only changes here if you do a share market float and you become a public company. I think that's the only time it changes.
Got it.
Yeah. So apart from that, no, I think the one proprietary limited incorporates pretty much everything here. So there's only one type really.
Yeah,
which
sounds like
most
that's like the S corp here.
So okay, all right. There you go.
Cool.
Anyway,
cool. Business solved.
It doesn't sound like it's trivial to do become a limited liability corporation in Germany. Yeah. Bummer. Anyway, too bad. Speaking of too bad. Diode Magazine has
I saw that.
Has folded, as in not diode as in diode, as I used to call it when I was a kid. I used to call diodes diodes because I didn't know anyone who actually pronounced the word diode. I'd never heard anyone actually say it.
Sure,
of
course.
I think the first time I ever heard the word diode spoken by anyone was in the movie War Games. A silicone diode. I'm not going to entrust the safety of country to some silicone diode, and with that real, American twang. And that's the first time I heard it. Before that, I thought they were diodes.
And then you started talking like that?
And I didn't have anyone to sort of talk to about it, but I sort of talked to myself, I'm going to Tandy to buy a diode, I have to suck these diodes out of this board because I'm going to put them in my parts kit. I used to call them diodes. So
there you
go. Because I literally didn't know anyone who ever said the word diode before.
Yeah.
Had never heard it. And there was no internet when I was a boy.
Yeah, the internet was in your own head. There you go. Right. And on your internet, it was diodes.
So it's very cleverly spelt DIY-ode. So it's, which is really cool. It's been going for 8 years. So it started down in 2016, and I think they're up episode. They're up to issue number 74 or something. So they made like 74 issues before they just can't compete these days. I think like 6 months ago they stopped actually making the print version of it.
Yeah.
So everyone sort of probably knew they were on the way out.
This makes me feel a bit old, but I'm pretty sure I remember when they started. We announced it on here.
I'm pretty sure we announced it on here. And I got a shout out in their first issue. And in fact, the Amp Hour got a shout out.
Yeah, the good riddance, Diode.
The Amp Hour got a shout out in the first issue.
Okay, I take it back.
In the very first issue, like on the second page. Yep, got a shout out.
Actually wish
there you go.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, that's a shame. It sucks. I mean,
but it was inevitable, I guess. I mean, I hate to say it, but
any kind of publishing is just. Yeah.
Well, I was talking to someone. I won't name names, but I was talking to someone and about this, and he was saying that it was never going to work if they couldn't produce the kits for it, because these magazines are all based on projects and stuff, and if you can't sell the kits to go along with it, it's just a flashy rag. It's just like apparently they didn't do kits, or they didn't do it well, and that's how they
I'm looking for like a store link on their site. I don't see anything like that.
No, they don't have anything apparently. So they never really did the kits.
I mean, that's tough though too, because it's like that is an entirely not that other companies don't do it, but like that is such someone who's a publisher and a content creator in the first place. It's like that's a very different business. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Than kits, but I suppose at a certain point with the way media is these days, it's just like the economics of media businesses is really, really tough. So it's almost.
I think Silicon Chip Magazine, who are still going, they do sell kits, I think. Or I don't know. Please correct me on that. So I'm going to have to double check myself now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's probably the only way you can keep yourself going. You've got to have like supplemental income rather than just the shop. Here we go. Back issues, PCBs, program micros, components, kits, sets. Yep. So they sell kits. Yes, I'm sure they do. Yes. In fact, yes, I got a silicon chip set. It was a one of those tweezer LCR meter things.
Oh yeah.
Somebody set those in, or did I get it from a trade show or something? And they sell heaps of kits. So there you go. Yep. I don't know if they do those in house or who actually builds the kits for them or whatever. But anyway, they do sell that. So that's probably that's probably like half their income. I don't know. That'd be a total guess, but it'd certainly keep them going. So Yep. There you go. Although Silicon Chip has changed hands, though. The original founder, Leo Simpson, he sold it like 3-4 years ago or something like that. He sold it to their former top contributor who was working there. So he now owns it. So, yep. Anyway, cool. Sorry to hear another magazine go, but...
Sorry, Diode. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
Are there any US-based hobby magazines still going?
I mean, no.
I think there are in Europe. I think Europe still has
Elector is still going.
Elector's still going, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like again, you mean like specifically print?
I'm talking print, as in monthly issue. And even if it's online, like even if it's a PDF now, I would still class that as still a magazine, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just double checking, and this says Make is still being made. Is that right?
Make magazine.
Fabrication. Yeah.
Make or Maker? Because Make magazine died. The entire corporation died. That was like 5 years
magazine,
ago.
Digital Fabrication 2024.
Oh, there you go.
Volume 88. Is that possible? I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well. We don't know. Make Zine? Make
zine, yeah, make zine.
I don't know.
I guess
maybe someone took it over. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's still there. I thought it was also like I know
the
centralized Maker Faire.
The fairs are still going.
Yeah, like the small ones, yep.
Yeah, the smaller ones. But I'm sure the company went bust, but I don't know, it rose from the ashes somehow. And I guess it's still,
Yeah, so that's the only one I had in mind. I don't know. There might be other ones, but I'm not privy to them.
Yeah, there it is. Volume 88. Yep. Yeah. So be it. There you go.
So, yeah, okay.
Anyway, yep. Hats off to at least trying. Imagine starting this in 2016, thinking, I can make a go of, you can imagine, like I originally almost did it before I started the blog, but that was 14 years ago. Right, so probably 15, 16 years ago.
Did they have paper back then, Dave? 14 years ago?
I think so. And seriously, I thought about it. And then I thought, nah, it's a dead end. Nah, can't do it. So I started the blog. And, it's worked out a tad better. Anyway, imagine in 2016, I'm going to do a print electronics magazine in Australia. It's like, and when they still already
bold.
have one,
hey.
Yeah,
it's bold.
When still, it's pretty bold. So, yep. So hats off for lasting 8 years, I guess, but it was probably inevitable. I mean, they don't say much about it in their final blog post. They just said, unfortunately, the world is a different place in 2024 and Diode is no longer sustainable. We've decided to close the doors. There will be no March issue. So there you go. That's it. Yeah, no, they didn't give us any further insight there, unfortunately. But obviously, only so many people are going to, they had to go away from the print issue to save some cost, I guess, and then I guess there wasn't enough, because it's a pretty slick magazine, right? It's pretty slick. And, there's a lot of effort and a lot of people that must be involved in actually making that. So I think, I looked through the first issue last night, and the list of people that they had presumably working for them was extensive. There were 10 people or something. It was quite, it was quite the effort. So yeah, I don't know how you keep that many people on staff with, or even on contract or whatever with, I don't know, they probably only had sub 10,000 subscribers or something. So I don't know how that works, but unfortunately, it no longer works. So, yep, sad.
Well, on to new and things that are improving and releasing in 2024. Do you see there's a new KeyCAD? KeyCAD 8?
I've heard there's a new KeyCAD 8. I have not seen it nor used it.
Yeah. There's some summary articles out there and some of the new stuff. I've not swapped over yet because I usually give it I don't go for 8.0.0. I usually wait for the 0.0.
Oh, I thought you were on the bleeding edge. Dude.
No. I'm barely ever touched the nightlies even.
Really? Yeah, but there was one point in the not too distant past you were Mr. KeyCAD.
Sure, but I was always behind. I was almost always released behind.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wimp.
Yes. I think cautious would be another way to say that. Sure, wimp. Wimp also works. Yeah.
I can remember I had to use the daily build of Altium.
I know, Dave. Yes.
The daily build.
Back in my day, yeah.
When I was a boy. Yeah, working at Altium.
Yeah, and so there's a summary list of summary posts and stuff like it. You can go on the KeyCAD forums, you can go you watch Wayne's talk, stuff like that. It just kind of keeps getting more pro. One thing that kind of is relevant to last week's episode about Altium getting bought out is that the importer for Altium files has gotten better. Libraries are now importable.
Right.
There's always been a push to that because you always want to make it welcoming for people to move the projects around. Well,
that's absolutely essential to be a success.
Well, and especially for binaries coming in, it's pretty easy to go from KeyCAD to something else because it's all ASCII. But anything that's binary coming in, that's where the difficulty comes from, I think.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And as far as I know, the Altium haven't published their binary, their thing.
The key to their.
Yeah, you have to reverse engineer it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
As far as I know, anyway.
I believe that's right. I have not tried it, so the importers and stuff like that. But I think the libraries are, probably more useful a lot of times because if someone's offering a library in Altium, it's like free data,
Yeah, right.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. I could download it and play around with it, but really, you've got to do a project in anger. Really?
You got to do it.
And you've got to do a decent size. People go, oh, how does it compare with Altium? You know, people ask me this all the time. It's like, dude, I would have to do some massive project. Like, I would have, like, you know, I'd have to spend a month doing a massive project just to, you know, tell you what the real differences are. And it's just, you know, no, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think other, like, kind of highlight things, like, for me, like, actually, James Lewis did a top eight things in KeyCAD to try out. That was good.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, that's like
you need something like that. Here's the top new 8 features, you know.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of fixes and
Although I was thinking about redoing my auto routing video, because that was 4 or 5 years ago now, and seeing how the tools have improved, both Altium and the latest version 8 now. So maybe it's timely to redo that, perhaps. But once again, auto routing is one of those things where it's not just a magic thing. Like, you need to spend, for it to be useful, you need to spend more time setting it up than you do just, like, you can't just import, you can draw your spreadsheet and go, you know, like it doesn't work like that. So anyway, I thought, you know, maybe.
I'm surprised at the what you mean. Maybe you should do. I think here's an idea for a video, which you usually don't like my video ideas, but I think it's not bad. They've been pulling in a lot of like spice features. And
okay, right.
Did you ever use that in Altium? I never really understood that.
I rarely used Altium for simulation. Like it could do it, but it wasn't kind of, you know. Yeah.
I think what I would like to do is like to have redraw it. I would love to have like just like a click and drag over a circuit, and then be able to export that to like an LT Spice or whatever. You know, like
that'd be nice. Because most of the time you aren't simulating your entire project. You're simulating just a little, you know, little motor driver circuit, or you simulate a little DC to DC converter circuit. And it's true, you know, you spend 20 minutes, you can copy it over. You know, you can just copy it over to any other simulation package. It's not, you know, so you don't save
you want to save time, so like that would be good. Right?
So if you could do that, but it's not a pain in the ass to, you know.
No, I think it's just a risk to maybe have lost, you know, to skip
of course,
something,
because you could have goofed something, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah. But, you know,
Yeah, I was always surprised. But then, like, you know, some people who are living in, like I think it was like someone who was a Cadence user was talking to me about, they're like, but like, I'm in such a complex project that I have to basically use it. You know, they were using like IBIS modules and like all the way down to the bottom.
Yes,
you know,
they're going to down the rabbit hole all the way.
Sure, you know, like, but like, there's somewhere between that intensity and like, you know, me using Falstad Simulator to be like,
of course.
Do I remember how like JFETs work? The answer is no. The answer is always no. Every single time I see a JFET, I'm like, what do I do? Thumbing through the art of electronics. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
So, but that would be, I think, good to do that sort
I've got a potential new video on the whiteboard here that may involve a JFET. Never know. Okay. I might include that.
Headphone amplifier. It's always headphone amplifiers.
No, well, it's you want a spoiler alert?
Sure.
It's about composite amplifiers. I was going to do a tutorial video on composite amplifiers. So
I don't know what those are, Dave.
You don't know what composite amplifiers are?
I would usually say composite, by the way. This is like an
aluminum, bloody American thing. Composite amplifier. Well, a composite amplifier. A composite amplifier is one where you have another amplifier or another amplifying element within the feedback loop. So if you like, I've done a video on this week where you can get two amplifiers and you join them, so you can. They're called.
That's the Voltron
cascaded amplifiers. So they're cascaded. So they're joined together in series. Right?
Got it.
So that's and you can get more bandwidth and other things out of that, or extra drive capability. Whereas a composite amplifier, they're not cascaded like one after the other. The second amplifier is within the feedback loop of the first amplifier. So you can combine various, you know, because often when you're going out on the bleeding edge of requirements, you may not find the one op amp to do everything you need. Right. Yeah, so if you need ultra low, ultra high input impedance, ultra low leakage on the inputs, and you need, but you need super fast bandwidth, and you need huge drive capability, and you know, also all these sorts of things, and massive bandwidth, blah 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 blah. They're always a trade-off. Whereas a composite amplifier allows you to mix and match, say, a really, you know, massively low noise, low offset voltage amplifier on the front part of it, but then you combine that with a really grunty line drive-in op amp to drive a coax cable, right?
Got it. Yeah.
So you could and drive it at 100 volts, right? So you could have like a high voltage or a high power amplifier, and you put them in the same loop. So it appears functionally as the one amplifier, but it combines the best of two elements of two different op amps. And but as I mentioned, I might put a JFET in there because you don't have to have an op amp. You can put a JFET. This is common for scope front ends, for example. They might use a composite architecture where they include. You've no doubt seen this if you've seen a schematic of any scope front end. Old school ones. They'll have like a JFET on the input. That's how you get your high input impedance for your 1 mega ohm input impedance, right? So you need like a JFET on the input, or usually it's a matched pair, on the input of JFETs, and then you'll wrap that within the feedback loop of the amplifier, which gives you the bandwidth and the drive capability to go to the analog to digital converter, for example. So, yeah, composite amplifiers. There you go. They are a thing.
All right. Yep. All right. Yep. Cool.
They're magical. Yep. So, and they're real. I don't think anyone's done a tutorial video on composite amplifiers. I have to do a search, but I don't think so.
It doesn't sound like they're very common.
No, they're not. Well, no.
But it's like one of those things where you don't know about it when you need to reach for it. So that's great.
So,
yep. That's great.
Yep. So it's currently on the I've just written it on the whiteboard, so it forces me to get off my ass
Stare at it and be like, not yet. No, not yet.
But it's been on there, and I've done 3 videos since I put it up on the whiteboard.
Yep.
So anyway, it is there, and I'm sure I'll get around to it. So composite amplifiers. There you go. Circuit technique of the day. Composite amplifiers, or composite if you're a Yank.
As I am.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Weirdo. Composite. Unbelievable. All right. What else we got?
You probably don't care about this one, but speaking of things that get pronounced differently than I say Zephyr, and whenever I go to Germany, which I will be doing in April, they say Zephyr.
I would definitely say Zephyr too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's a new version. A lot of interesting changes there. Probably more interesting to me, though, is the new sponsors on the project. Basically, it's down to pretty much every chip vendor is now a sponsor of the project. And they're kind of all in it in some at least like dipping a toe in kind of way.
Right.
And the new changes, though, things like GNSS and this new thing called LXEXT, which is basically like loading up binaries like dynamically. That's pretty cool.
All right.
So you could like load in like dynamic, not files, but like different code and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat. I don't know. This is like the stuff I'm in all the time, but I have not tried out yet. So we'll see. I think probably the GNSS is the most likely to touch my life, because it's like dealing with NMEA like messages. So it's like it's always the same coming out of GPS units. So like why didn't they have this previously? But now it's like just gonna parse that and make it easier to talk to these different devices. So that's good.
Got it.
So yeah, easier to read sensors. I like that.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah. When are you gonna sign up, Dave? Sign up for Zephyr.
Right. Yeah. Nah.
No.
Well, if I had a project that needed,
I know.
To do
that's what we got to work on. That's what we got to work on.
All right. Yep. No, sorry.
Now I'm back in the working world. I've got some stuff. I got some stuff I'm building, so that's nice.
Right. No, I've got 2 projects. Neither of them would have any benefit whatsoever.
No connectivity.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sorry. Yep.
Okay. 2 projects. That's good.
Yep.
All right. Looking forward to hearing about those on here. What else? Stupid Intel Altera thing. They're called Altera again.
That's happened since.
Yeah, we talked about that, I guess, last time. Or 2 times
did
ago.
we? Okay, but it has.
Yeah, we talked about it briefly. We just said, we talked about Steve and stuff like that. So,
but we didn't know. I don't think we know they were going to keep the name.
Yeah, that's right.
Altera. They kept the name, but it's all lowercase now. It's all lowercase. I did a tweet about this. It's all lowercase. Yeah. And if you have a look at their new logo, they sneakily included AI at the end of the logo.
Well, of course they did. Of course they did.
Sneaky, huh? Wonder they must have added another couple 100,000 to the bill from the consultant, the logo consultant for that. For adding AI on the end. Yeah. Yep. Sneaky bastards, huh? Yeah, because they claim to have all their they claim all their silicon is AI compatible or some wankery like that, you know.
Of course.
So yeah. No, but yeah, like I read an article about FPGAs and AI. I can't remember where it was, and they said like everyone thought at the start of all this AI thing, like many years ago, that FPGAs would be the future of AI because they're more versatile, and then everyone realized, no, the GPUs are better at it. Right. They're just, GPUs just killed them, so nobody does, very few people do AI with FPGAs anymore. So,
custom processing, stuff like that. Yeah,
it's just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine like,
so
just the number of, like... Yeah. The crushing number of chips you need to have. Just like FPGAs would be so expensive comparatively. And then it's not like the GPUs are cheap, right?
Like, no. Well, I was actually, speaking of which, Nvidia have just released or recently released the RTX, which, because all their GPUs are now RTX, they moved from GTX architecture to RTX architecture, and all the RTX architecture is AI compatible, of course, and they've now released this new AI which you can run locally on your GPU card, and you can feed it so you can have your own AI running locally on your own machine that uses your own GPU, and you can feed it videos. You can feed it anything you want and have your own local AI system. So I was going to see if there's any benefit in actually feeding it all of my thousands of videos and seeing if there's any useful data that can pop out of it. I don't know. It'll maybe it can help me find old videos. I'm just imagining that
it's like, sorry, there's nothing useful here.
The thousands of videos, you realise your life has been pointless.
I now want to go on the EEV blog forum and talk about 10-volt references.
Well, I thought about doing it for the forum as well. I thought maybe, if we did a local AI version, train it on the...
selling your data.
Not selling it. I'm just efficiently collating it.
Just profiting off of it,
Efficiently collating it. And and then we could have a better search engine on there, because the search on the forum's not that great. So heaps of people use Google search. So instead of using the forum search, they actually go to Google and they put in, site : and then evblog.forum and then, and they use that. Well, maybe, maybe we can do some sort of plugin that, does like an AI. We can build up a local database, AI database.
It's like Ask Jeeves for your for the EV blog forum.
For your own forum, that'd be useful, because there's tons of, there's like 50,
Jeeves was ahead of his time. Ask Jeeves was ahead of their time.
Ask Jeeves, Whatever happened to Ask Jeeves?
Oh, lost.
I don't know. Probably absorbed into some, it's probably been absorbed 5 times into...
I watched, on my parental leave, I rewatched all of Parks and Rec, the Mike Schur show.
No, what's that? No idea.
I don't know. It's like a sitcom for like 6 or 7 years.
Right.
Pretty great. I loved it. But like one of the people that are in that town always use Ask Jeeves instead of Google.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, sorry. Maybe it was Alta Vista. I may have been confusing with Alta Vista.
Yeah.
But yeah. Either way, there was some alternative search engine they were still on in this town. So.
All right. Ask Jeeves, I think, is still ask.com.
Was that what ask.com
Yes,
became?
it's ask.com. I've never used ask.com, but apparently it's still going.
Okay.
Ask.com, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's the same font for sure. Oh, wow.
I'm surprised they haven't integrated, they haven't spun into AI. I'm going through the Wikipedia. Yeah, founded in 1996 as Ask Jeeves. There you go. They're still they haven't been bought. No, it's a subsidiary of. No, who's the parent company? It doesn't say. It's a subsidiary.
Ask Media Group.
Ask Media Group. Okay, he's probably right.
Wow, that's
there you go. So
I didn't think I would learn that today. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Dave, you could maybe hire them to become
right.
Yeah, you ask Jeeves on EV blog. Ask
Dave. I'll do a custom version. Ask Dave. Yeah. I'm going to go out and askdave.com. I'm going to register.
I bet that one's taken.
I bet it's taken. Askdave.com. I'm on it now.
Let me ask EV blog. How about that one?
It isn't loading. Ask EV blog wouldn't be taken, but Ask Dave looks like it's taken because it's not loading. So
right.
No, adscheaper.com. So there's a domain squatter. There's a beaver as a domain squatter. I got beavered. Okay.
All
right.
Yep.
Jesus. Ask Jeeves. Unbelievable. Yep. For those who don't know, for those who don't remember, the kiddies out there wouldn't remember pre-Google. It was Alta Vista was the search engine of choice.
Yeah, there was a lot of them, right?
Yahoo
was playing in that game.
Yeah, Yahoo was. Well, Yahoo was more of a repository, like a compilation repository of links kind of thing. It wasn't really a search engine.
That's how they all started.
As such.
Come on, they all. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. It was Yahoo was a curated engine. Like things were curated.
Sure.
Sort of like human curated, I think. Something like that. So, yeah. No.
Yeah, the dark times of the internet. Yeah.
Good times, come on.
Good times.
Now it's just they're all evil and tracking you and, back then it was, no one was evil. And there
was no podcast back then, so, I mean, if you get a bunch of listeners that are interested in that sort of thing, I'm sure they're...
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Now everything's bloody AI and, AI is just evil and, Anyway, won't go there.
How's your week ahead looking?
You think I plan a week ahead?
Oh, well, some of us have day jobs, Dave.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah. I've got some hardware validation. I got some hardware sitting in my desk that I've had manufactured for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Need to make sure it actually works. And
well, I may or may not sort of move the 2 meters over to the whiteboard and actually switch on the camera. I don't know.
There you go.
Have to build up the motivation to do it.
Yep.
But I just shot, edited, and released a video this morning before we press record. That was before midday. It was like, so I'm feeling pretty chuffed with myself. I'm feeling pretty efficient.
Put your feet up,
right?
Chill out.
Yeah, exactly.
Record an amp hour.
Yep.
Reward yourself a little amp hour time.
Kill some time for a couple of days, and
go
then
home and hang
then
out
I'll go. It's Thursday, and I don't publish videos on
film
Thursday.
The pool robot.
Because I filmed the pool robot. Yeah, there's some quality content right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh boy, I should take one of those pool robot sponsorships I get. I could get thousands of dollars just for doing one pool robot video.
Bingo.
Hey.
Anyways, back to the hardware. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh boy,
gotta get validated. I think I had my pull request before I made this piece of hardware. It was about 30 significant changes.
Right.
like not screw ups, but like 30 changes, and so I had to go through and evaluate all those. And I don't know. I still have to make a. Did you back in the day? Did you make like a list of things to check before your hardware showed up? Or was it more like a...
No, just in my head. I just go through it. And if
more like functional testing, stuff like that.
And if I miss something, I'd just, that's just Darwin, right? So that's just Darwin at work. So, I figure if it wasn't important enough to remember, then it probably wasn't important enough to do. So, yeah. And I was doing it all the time, so it was like really like...
Yeah, I mean, if you're spinning a lot of boards, but...
If you're spinning a lot of boards, it was just, fairly
I'm not
routine.
sure I 100% agree with that, but I mean, functionally, that's how I operate, so I can't argue with it.
It depends on the importance of the board, I mean, if you can just spin another one, if you just want to do, it... Not all boards are the same. Not all boards have the same requirements, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so looking at this board now, there are some untested features. I just assumed that the buzzer was going to work.
I assume your buzzer was going to work. Buzzers are pretty easy. Did you get the wrong buzzer? Did you get a piezo sounder instead of a buzzer? Did you get a piezo transducer? You did.
No. I'm just saying I haven't tested it yet. So like that's something I just kind of kicked the can down the road. I gotta test that, but first boot up and stuff like that. It didn't smoke. LEDs came on. Everything it programmed.
But it just didn't buzz.
I'm already already on the path. Yeah.
Right.
No. I haven't written any code.
You haven't written any code yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got a real buzzer, all you need is one line of code, which just sets power, the output to 1, right? You just apply power to it and it buzzes. Because a lot of people don't know. That's a difference.
We've talked about that.
A buzzer's got an internal oscillator. Yeah, of course we have. Buzzer's got an internal oscillator, and a piezo transducer is one that you have to actually drive with a square wave at the frequency you want to drive it at. So,
bingo.
Pros and cons.
Yep. Yeah,
Buzzer's pretty simple, dude. Just,
It's not the only thing on the board, Dave. Come on, man. It's the cellular IoT thing.
Dude.
I've got tons of stuff on here. Tons of stuff on here.
Toggle the pin.
All right. I will toggle the pin. Yes.
Thank you.
I will. You know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm gonna wait until it's like 2 a.m.
All right.
I'm going to test the buzzer. When it works, I'm going to call you, and it'll just be
excellent. Yep. Right.
Yeah. Complimentary wake-up call.
Fantastic. Just what I need.
Yeah. That's what the internet enables for us.
Fantastic. Love living in the future.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will report back next time.
Whether or not your buzzer works.
Whether or not anything works. How about that?
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah. Catch you next time.
See you soon.